I am shocked and upset and don't know what to do. I am still very good friends with my childhood best friend. We grew up together, were there for each other's highs and lows, when we both married the loves of our lives, and when we started having children, etc. Our families are very close. She got married and had children a while before I did, so she has older children, one of whom is a 21-year-old college boy. I am practically his aunt and know him very well. The past few days, I could tell my daughter was in an unusual mood, but I didn't think too much of it. Today, I went into her room and saw her crying. I asked her what was wrong, and she said she couldn't tell me and to go away. I don't know why, but I got a really bad feeling about the situation and asked to see her phone. She freaked out and started to scream at me. After a while, I got it out of her that she and this 21-year-old man have been in contact, talking, texting, and calling over the course of the past year. WTF, my daughter was in 8th grade. She gave me more details about the situation and said that he would encourage her to tell him about her problems, so they began to form a close relationship. He started telling her that he really loved her and saw her as a little sister, but told her to keep their friendship a secret from me, his mom, and our families. Here is what I know about their relationship. He would video call her at night after everyone was asleep, and they would talk into the night. He would often go on rants to her about how they can't have a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship for now, and my daughter would not really know what to say, she would just listen. He constantly talks to her about inappropriate things that I don't want her exposed to right now, such as his drinking habits in college and stuff like that. He talks to her about his problems, and I see an issue in this because many of his problems in college are nothing a 14-year-old needs to know about. I don't mind her knowing about that stuff, but I would like her to be taught about it in a more responsible way. His friend apparently called her drunk one time and began to say explicit, inappropriate things about both her and my best friend's son. It all makes me want to vomit. Whenever we have family gatherings, we usually let all our children hang out together, and my friend's son joins them. Of course, we assume he's just babysitting and watching over the younger kids. Apparently, at a gathering this weekend, he took my daughter aside and kissed her on the lips. It was her first kiss. He told her he has feelings for her, but that they can't do anything right now. I am so livid right now. My daughter feels that she might have feelings for him, but she is also shaken at the same time because she's uncomfortable. Deep down, I know there's something telling her it's not right, hence why she's so upset. She told me she feels like she likes him, but at the same time doesn't want him to come over anymore. I feel so sick. I feel like a terrible parent for letting this happen under my own roof. How could I have let this happen? There is so much more. This is only a small portion of the stuff she's told me, but I think it pretty much sums up their relationship. I don't know what to feel right now. Part of me wants to go over to my friend's house right now and scream at her son. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, but I really need some advice. I'm going to tell my husband later, and I know he's going to be extremely livid. I don't know what's going to happen with me and my best friend either. I don't even know if I care at this point about my relationship with her. I need to get some help for my daughter. There might be details she's leaving out. I asked her to show me the text between them, but he apparently made her download this texting app that automatically deletes their conversations each day. He made her do this so that they wouldn't be caught. Update 1. Earlier, after my daughter told me about this situation, I instructed her to block all communication with him, which she said she would. I checked in with her later to make sure everything was deleted, and thankfully it was. I told her that she was very strong and that I was proud of her. She knew her father and I were planning on talking to his parents, but all of a sudden, in the past hour, she kept trying to convince us not to and insisted that it wasn't as bad as she made it out to be. She kept saying it was her fault and seemed to get increasingly anxious. My husband and I sat her down to try and work through the feelings and asked her where it was coming from. What I didn't know is that right before she blocked him, she messaged him out of fear, saying she was sorry but she had told me about their relationship and what had happened. She told him that she wasn't allowed to talk to him anymore or something like that. She blocked him without giving him the chance to respond. He apparently knows what her Tumblr account is and decided to create an account just to message her there. I have never seen such a manipulative and horrific message, but it worked because it got to my daughter's head. She has been begging us to just drop everything and leave him alone. Obviously, we are not going to do that, but I'm at a loss on how to convince my daughter that things will end up okay. We've all agreed to go to bed since it's been a long night. I've kept my daughter's phone in my room so he won't contact her in the middle of the night. Tomorrow we will deal with the situation once we are thinking more clearly and are able to take the best course of action. Update 2. Taking into consideration all the advice we received, our own gut instincts, and information we had on hand about the situation, we decided to move forward and get law enforcement involved in this situation. Our reasoning is simply that this guy knew exactly what he was doing and must be held accountable for his actions. Getting the police involved has certainly brought a lot more information to fruition. A thorough search brought up some more disturbing text conversations between my daughter and this boy that was enough to charge him with indecency with a child. We will continue to move forward with this and get our daughter the justice she deserves. The new findings, however, have brought up some more information about our daughter's well-being. At the time of writing my previous post, I knew she was having some problems with friends in school on top of this current situation with a 21-year-old, but what I didn't know was how severe her emotional issues have been lately. I feel awful. I know teenagers are good at hiding the things that they want to hide, but I wish I noticed or tried to reach out to her more when I noticed she was being moody or isolating herself in her room. The police showed us a lot of messages involving unalive ideation, possibly signs of depression, with phrases like, "I'm a mistake. I don't think anyone would care if I disappeared," being constantly said. I don't want to diagnose, but I'm really afraid for my daughter's mental health and behavior. I don't know if it's BPD, depression, anxiety, or what. She says she doesn't want to go to therapy, but my husband and I agree that she needs to at least go to a preliminary appointment and speak to one. She is pretty open with us, but I know there are things she doesn't want to tell us about, and there are things that we really feel only a professional can help with. We've set up an appointment with both a therapist and a psychiatrist. I'm just rambling now, but I've always tried to give my daughter privacy. Still, I think it's time I monitor who she's talking to. I don't want her to feel like I don't trust her and like I'm spying on her, so it's difficult. If there was just some way for me to see the contacts on the app she's messaging without really seeing the message content, that would help maybe. I just want to make sure she's not talking to anyone she shouldn't be. I don't know, we're glad that we can move forward and potentially get the 21-year-old guy charged with something and have him out of our lives, but my daughter is far from being healed. Update 3. I've received some interest in how the parents of the 21-year-old, aka my best friend from childhood, responded to the situation. I received this text from his mom not long after the police went to their house. "You could have given me a heads up before you went ahead and destroyed my family, lol." I did not reply to the text, seeing as it was immature. I did not want to entertain it, and I had bigger things to worry about. She called me a bit later, and I made the mistake of picking up. She began to berate me and told me that I had broken her trust and ruined her family and that they were going through hell. She said that she could have fixed things herself if I had come to her first, and that I didn't need to go to the police and escalate the situation. She said some stuff about how her son's life was ruined too and some other stuff about how I'll burn in hell for this. I thanked her for the friendship and all she has done for me over the years, and told her I was not interested in debating whether or not I did the right thing outside of a court, and swiftly ended our friendship. Update 4. It's been well over a year since everything happened, and I figured I should give a final update to the community that was so supportive to me during such a difficult time for my family. I sincerely thank each and every one of you who gave me advice and showed so much love and support. After everything that happened last summer, we did eventually end up moving to a new state right before the school year started. My husband's job allowed him to relocate there, and after some time, I ended up finding a job of my own here. My daughter was able to start high school at a new school, and it was the best decision we made. She's very recently 16 now and in her second year of high school, involved in a couple extracurriculars, has a wonderful new social circle, and a boyfriend who's actually her age this time. He's been over for dinner a couple of times, and he's a lovely young man, treating my daughter with so much respect. I'm just so happy that she's happy now after everything she's been through. There's still stuff she needs to work through, so she is attending therapy regularly, and it's helping her a lot. Overall, all the dust has settled, and my family is happy, stronger, and closer because of all that's happened. As for the man who did all this to my daughter, we unfortunately weren't able to get too harsh of a punishment. We fought tooth and nail and were only able to get him to be slapped on the wrist with a large fine. We've come to peace with it, knowing that we did all we could, and that he's out of our lives for good. We were able to place a restraining order on him, so he won't be bothering anyone anymore, and he's on the S-offender registry. As for my best friend, aka the mother of this man, we hadn't talked to each other in over a year. A couple of months ago, she reached out to me to tell me she was in my new state for a business trip and asked me to get coffee with her. I declined at first, but she called me and told me she just wants to meet for closure, that she's missed me and wants to apologize for her part in everything. We met for coffee, and she completely apologized for the way she treated my family through all of this and told me she only did it because she was afraid of her family falling apart, but now recognizes that it was selfish of her. She wanted to be friends again in some capacity if I was okay with it. I thanked her for the apology but told her that I don't feel comfortable resuming a friendship with her and that it was best for us to go our separate ways. It was a really sad conversation. She and I have been together through so much growing up. She has been my rock during some of the most difficult and scary times in my life, and vice versa. It was hard not to be sad or second-guess it, but I knew it was best. I don't want ties with her family or any connection there. Thank you again everyone for everything. I'm so grateful.